Hello there, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing The Evil Within on Akumu difficulty mode, and this is Chapter 5 of 15. It's entitled Inner Recesses. The first enemy you encounter here is one of the Invisibles. So, as per my normal strategy, what I'm going to do is use a flashbolt when I see the little aura approaching. And you don't even have to be particularly accurate, just fire it in his general wake. And these guys will always drop green gel totaling 1,000. That's a good kill. So there's a map fragment and a save point / upgrade facility at the beginning of this stage, and you'll want to go through each room systematically. Some have nothing, some have some items. This room, for instance, has some matches, a minor jump scare, and a couple of green gels. So this is it's a pretty simple chapter at first, but it has one of the hardest fights in the game coming up. This room here, nothing in it. So we'll just keep making our way up here. This is an open room. Oh, yeah. Nothing again in here. I think in the next room you'll hear the tittering of a female psychotic in here whom is also invisible. So we'll leave this room, explore this next room, get the green gel, and we're going to have a few more encounters with the invisibles. So in this bathroom area, there will be green gel in one of the toilet stalls over there to the left, which is 1,000. And then when you drop down here, you'll see a rat with a statue on his back, right over to the left right there. See him? He kind of stops behind the table, and you can just stomp him if you wanted to. See, there he is. I shot him, and you can burn him afterwards, but it's wasting a match, and even shooting him with the shotgun is wasteful, so you just want to step on him. I don't think he moves beyond where he stops, so definitely you want that key. You also want these items on this table here, and then in a second you're going to get a checkpoint. There are 4 invisibles coming up. Well, no, excuse me. We already faced. There's 4 total. There's 3 left to face. I'm going to fight 2 of the 3. So this is the checkpoint area right here. We need the key card to get past that security gate. So we'll take it right here. Cross the threshold. I didn't cross it all the way, so I need to do it again. But when you see the aura coming, I just think this is the best strategy. It's very economical. You know, it only costs 2 parts to craft a flashbolt, and it's extremely easy. You can't fail on this. It's so simple, and it takes care of the job in the most efficient way that I've found to deal with that enemy. So that is number 1. We are going to be fleeing from one of them. If you want to kill him, you can, but it's possible to just flee from him once you get the security card. So in this area here, over to the right, there is some items to pick up. Right in there. Remember, the next guy will be in the room beyond this door here, and this is the final guy that I'm going to kill. You want to trigger him, fall back, duck, stab, and then get the security card. Then when you come back, when you go through the door that we just exited, you'll see it open before you even get a chance to open it, meaning that it was pushed by an invisible foe. So I've attempted to run past different ones of these guys, and I just found that just fleeing from the last guy is the best way to do it. The least amount of stress on your part. So just remember to save right before you use your locker key, because you don't want to get a syringe from one of the lockers and waste a key, because in this difficulty it doesn't work. See the door open before I got to it? So now the guy's chasing me. But if you manage your stamina here, and as long as you swipe the card, it's a really easy way to get to the goal without any problems. See, he's probably back in the other room, and then once the gates are closed, you're free and clear. then pretty soon we're going to meet up with Joseph. The main fight is difficult because Joseph falls down and needs help a lot. You do have to heal him. It does not deplete your own resources, but it does take time to heal him. Not a lot of time, but on this difficulty mode where people are, throwing dynamite at you, it can be pretty tough. So we're going to head on down here now into this area here where it's a triple kind of puzzle. And you can do these in any order you please. So once you look through the keyhole, a door will appear. Go through the door, and the combination to the puzzle is on the wall. So the first one is the sunflower. And it takes a bit to open the door. And then each room that you clear, one trail of blood will accumulate against the wall, forming another door. So here's the surgical room. There's a map fragment, I think. No. I will detract that. They're the same every single time. So that one was the right circle. And then as we make our way through here, we'll get the map fragment, or the note, excuse me, and some boxes to smash, which I don't think I got anything. Yes, I did. So this one is, it's the one with the 3 cogs on the side of it. So that's the puzzle. We'll meet up with Joseph. After a minor scare. Don't forget to pick up this. I think it's 500, 1,000, even better. So when you first meet up with him, you're going to have to heal him. And the next scenario will have you facing a group of about 8 enemies whom you can kill with this oil puddle on the ground. Now, it works about 75% of the time. I can kill every single one of these guys with just a single match. So just delay the match setting for a while. Just wait until they're almost near you, and then you have to stay in this room, because even when they're engulfed in flames, they can still grab you. So this was one of those times where everybody burned up. Like I said, 25% of the time I would get 1 or more guys left, but generally it'll work out for the best here, so that you can kill every single enemy with just a single match. And in this locker room, there is one minor jump scare. The locker that I just ignored right there will have a corpse falling out, and just to show you what it is, I'll open it. It's just that completely innocuous. Come out here, grab the gel. It's 200, which is doesn't make sense. 300 still doesn't make sense for all those kills. And that's it. That's a really good way to manage resources. I will say one warning over here. If you knock this dangling corpse off of his rope, he will aggro. So just don't punch him. You can move around him and bump into him if you have to. See how I do it right there? Kind of just, as long as you don't melee him, he won't fall to the ground and then aggro. If you don't know what the term aggro means, it just means that he will, from a neutral status, he will come aggressive and start chasing you. So like, for instance, if you just try to run past all these enemies, you would come down here, encounter the door, which takes about 30 seconds to open, and you would just get slaughtered. So it much behooves you to drop that match and kill everybody with a single match rather than wasting a bunch of ammo, because there is a huge fight coming up. It is broken by a checkpoint, but there is it's a seemingly endless amount of enemies, and you have to face Joseph. You don't have to face him. What am I talking about? You have to heal him if he gets wounded, which he most likely will. But before that, you are granted access to the insane asylum, so you can heal and save and use that key that you just picked up. So just make your way up the ladder. There's a map fragment over here too. There's some matches, a map fragment, I think some bullets, and then some flash bolts too, so even better. Okay, so the next part here, over to the right, is a portal to the insane asylum, so make sure that you save your progress and do all your upgrades. This is a large scale battle. So there's Myra down taking a bath. I did not trim out the little cutscene here, so we're gonna have to wait a second, but it gives me a chance to talk. The first wave is directly downstairs. You're going to need to be helping Joseph. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use a flash bolt on this main cluster here, and then throw a grenade, and then I'm going to use an explosive bolt on this door here. See, they'll come out of this door, they'll come out of the door immediately below where I am, and you've already seen them come out of the left side. So this is one of those battles where, like I said, it's large scale, there's a lot of enemies, and they have to be dealt with, so you're going to need to use supplies here. There's no way around it. The nice thing is you get a checkpoint, so probably the hardest thing is keeping Joseph alive. So if he needs help, you're probably going to be in a position where you can't even heal him in time without getting clawed at. So at this point, you almost have a checkpoint. When the guy comes out with dynamite, just watch out. He's going to throw the dynamite at you unless you shoot him down. And I think at about this time we get a checkpoint. So heal Joseph as necessary. And then once you get the checkpoint, there's going to be enemies coming up out of this room here. So you can do the throw grenade, you can do a flash bolt, which is what I'm going to do to keep everybody in place, and so I get the most bang for my buck, so to speak. So I'm going to throw a couple of grenades in there, and sometimes there will be a guy with dynamite in here. Sometimes he'll come from behind you. I'm not sure where he spawns from, but you'll just need to take care of all these guys. And then the next spawn will come from below, but they don't come out until you come downstairs, so that you can stay up here and place an explosive bolt where they're going to spawn. So here's the guy I mentioned a moment ago. Just make sure that stick of dynamite explodes before you start moving anywhere near it. So when you get the prompt to press A, that's when the next spawn is going to happen. But like I said, it won't trigger until you're on the lower level. So what I'm going to do is craft another explosive bolt, and I'm going to put it right where these guys are going to come out here. They're going to come out. See that archway under there? They're going to spawn from over there. So I'm going to place one right where they're going to come. And there's going to be a couple of large enemies, and those are the hardest ones to deal with because they have the most HP. So here they all come. These guys will throw sickles at you too, so they're pretty damn difficult. So I'm trying to get these guys down, And see, there's a classic example of the match mechanic failing. So this took about 20 tries. It's pretty damn difficult, but with the checkpoint, it's very manageable. The second phase is not even as hard as the first phase. So I should have just harpooned this son of a bitch here, because he never gave up. He kept coming. I had to move out of the way. He almost grabbed me right there. But the thing about this whole fight is that you're going to have to use a lot of items, but there's items all over the place. You'll get items from drops, there's items in the rooms, and there's items on the table over here. So it's just one of those things where in this whole time you need to be prepared for situations that are in the future, looming in the future, and just be cognizant of the ones that you're in, so that you don't put yourself into a jam unwittingly. So this guy was giving me a really bad time, but I just wanted to clear this section. So there he's dead. I'm going to throw a match on him for good measure. Oh, and one final way if you're dynamite throwers. So just move around the room, and they tend to follow you, so if you can just get them down on their knees, they'll more often than not have the dynamite explode. See? They'll just fall down, the dynamite will explode, and that's it. It's a tough fight, it really is. One of the hardest fights so far in the game. So now, another crossfade. Here's the checkpoint. So, oh yeah, in the time between this transition, what you want to do is go around the room, and I picked up the axe from upstairs that one of the enemies had. So there's going to be 2 mandatory fights here, one of which is against this guy. So I'm going to shove the tank at this guy, he's a dynamite thrower, and then, you know, just kick the barrel at him, and then shoot the dynamite. I mean, shoot the incendiary barrel right there. And then we're going to use this axe to deal with the next guy whom we run into. You'll see inmates in these prisons here, but once we get the next checkpoint, they'll all disappear. And in one of the rooms, there will be a statue. So just take care of this guy. Watch out for the dynamite. Just back out of the way. And then that's it. It is broken by nice checkpoints, which is a lot more than I can say about the next chapter. So the code here is 22 on top, 5 on the bottom. It doesn't matter which way you rotate the dial. So make sure that you go back the way you came. And we're going to pick up that statue, get the key, get a couple of bullets. See how all the inmates have just unspawned? It's really nice. There's another key coming up, and it's on a bird. It's very, very cool when I first saw that. So I believe that this is the only cell that has anything in it. So if you want to look through each cell, you can, but I'm telling you already did. I mean, if you want to double check, that's actually pretty smart of you, because, you know, not everybody is 100% right all the time. But we're going to jump down here, secure another checkpoint.
Hang on, I'm coming.
And we'll be in this room down here. We'll need to sidle through the little gap in the wall over here, which God of War 3 invented, and which every game seems to imitate. So duck down, pick up this, and charge these guys, and hopefully you can get a double kill here. So wait until they're in a group, then hit the first guy, and then they'll both burn up, more than likely. I didn't even need to back off right there, because once they're burning up, they're pretty much out of the game, so you have iframes during that. So we'll make our way down here, head over to the left, get some supplies. And there's going to be one more fight with Kidman and Joseph. Kidman doesn't need to be defended, but Joseph will. And it is a marked difference between survival. I had no issues with him falling and dying, but on this mode it's extremely, it's like night and day. So you want to make your way on top of these concrete slabs because there's some gel and some bullets, I believe. And then there's also some green gel on the other side.
Kidman, you there?
And then we'll get another checkpoint. So just don't forget to get this green gel over here. It's easy to miss this one. See it in the distance right there? The next fight's, it's a smaller scale fight, but it's still pretty difficult. You can funnel these enemies down this corridor if you want to. So right here I'm going to craft a couple of bolts. You're going to need some flash bolts for the next chapter though, so make sure that you have some. Now these bodies need to be burned up or they will animate and start hunting you. So in this situation you just want to kneecap people, light people on fire, and the checkpoint is very close, so this is not that bad. It's just these larger enemies. So just stick these buffaloes with the harpoons, light them on fire. Ooh, see? He should have had the prompt on him. It's ridiculous. Just absolutely ridiculous. Okay, so here comes another piece of shit. I hate when you think everybody's dead and then one more guy charges at you. So that's it. Pick up all the gel, pick up any discarded items from pickups, and then we're going to have some narrative here, which I'm going to speed up because it just takes way too long. I think you have to approach Kidman and then approach Joseph. Then we'll have Kidman sliding under the door. We'll have a nice view of her ass as she does it, but fortunately it was too fast for you to see, but you can always pause it if you want to. So just keep walking. Okay, so there's the hands. Now we're in this quadrant. We're going to make our way over here to the save station and head back to the asylum. Okay, so next up, if I could give you some advice about upgrading, if you could possibly get the flash bolts up to level 5, you will be in such an advantageous place in the next chapter. I have them up to level 4, which I can stun enemies for 10 seconds. But the sequences in chapter 6, it's all about time and staying alive. You don't even have to participate in the fights if you can use shock bolts or flash bolts or even freeze bolts and grenades. I'm sorry, I'm trying to catch my breath a little bit. This game just takes my breath away. Just kidding. But it's a fantastic game. So, optional room down here. Although, yeah, optional. You'll pull the lever here, and there's going to be one corpse over there that will rise from the grave. So you want to hit him as much as possible. Conserve your matches, though. The Laura boss fight took me over an hour to defeat, and that's... I don't know. I honestly don't know what's harder, than the fight in Chapter 6 or the Laura boss fight. I personally think it's a Laura boss fight, because she goes too fast. It's hard to manage your stamina, and it's so particular about the match lighting. I seem to get like 50-50 whether I'm going to hit her when she infuses into another corpse. So it's kind of ridiculous, and I did have to use some other methods to take care of her when all else failed, such as using the explosive bolts. But there is a box of matches coming up, so if you have very few matches like I, then you'll be better off. So what do we have in here? What they do is they put in the next chapter that they put a flash bolt on the table, pretty much telling you, you know what, you should be using these. So I started to use them, and I've also been using the shock bolt, and it works pretty well too, in setting up traps with the explosive bolts. So the harpoon bolts are kind of redundant at this point. But this, I can confirm that enemies. I don't have it on tape because I was too greedy to get these spare parts over here. But the enemies that you spawn over here, they will walk right through this tripwire. I have it on tape somewhere, but it's on the cutting room floor. Like these guys here, if you spawn these two enemies, run back, duck under the trap, they will walk right through the trap every time. So I wasn't seeing things. These enemies, I guess some tripwires, they're ethereal and they can go right through them. It's complete bullshit. But I hate Laura. I understand. It's a cool concept. You know, the child was burned alive and now she's a monster and she's on fire and she's vulnerable to fire. Okay, yeah. So just watch out for these creepers on the ground. I like the stomping mechanic. Oh yeah, do not forget this. It's at a sharp angle. See this little cabinet? Do not forget this right here. These are matches that you'll need for the Laura boss fight. It'll just make your life a little bit easier. And when you step in that trap of torture, just stop and get these spare parts. Just craft as many shock bolt, flash bolts as you possibly can, and also craft, and then just save your bolts so that you can craft some more after when you get to the next room. So when you come up here, you'll trigger Laura. Don't feel the need to go get those items because you'll come back here, and this is a scripted sequence. You don't have to light the oil patch. What's going to happen is the sparks from those severed wires are going to ignite the puddle of oil, and she's going to incinerate. But we'll be seeing her in short order. And when I say it was an hour, I checked my source file when I was done, and it was like an hour and 2 minutes. So I was sitting in my chair. And it's unfair. It's a bullshit fight. I hate it so much. So when you come in here, there's a syringe in here. I opened it knowing it was a syringe, but I just wanted to show you. And it has occurred to me that it's kind of hard to prove. Oh yeah, this here, open it and then continually tap the Y button, because that is a bird or some kind of a crow that has a statue on him. So when you open it, you want to mash the Y button to do the melee attack, and then that will give you the key without having to waste the ammo. You can still get it from him. But here she is. What you have to do is you have to delay pressing the match, and you can either, like, here's what I'm doing. I use the shock bolt to shock her, freeze her in place, because the freeze bolt, I don't have it at a long enough duration. And then you can only do these traps of torture one time. So put her down the incinerator, come over here, grab the torch. There's 2 torches over here. Every time you set her on fire, she's going to go to another corpse. So see that? That was me putting it on too early. So what I did in retaliation was I used the torch. So this is another opportunity. Just kind of wait for a second until you suspect that she's in another body. Jump down, and then grab this, and then move the camera over there to make sure she falls into the flames. So there she goes. She screams, and she's normally coming out of the corpse that you're nearest to, which makes it convenient for you. So see, if you just delay it, see, it didn't work again. I'm doing it too early, but I'm telling you, it's hard to get it at the right time. That's why I think this boss fight is one of the hardest fights in the game. So at this point I said, you know what, to hell with it. There's no more corpses around. I have no more torches, so I'm just going to lay a trap for her. And she has a lot of HP, but the whole conceit here is put her in the traps of torture, kill her when she's coming through the bodies. What you don't want to do is you don't want to like burn up all the bodies and then approach her. That's what I thought the first time I played this. Like I thought that's how it worked, so that she wouldn't have any hosts to come out of. But you need to be damaged. I mean, I don't even think I damaged. Did I damage her like one time? I don't even know if I did. So I kind of contradicted my own tactics there. But that fight is damn hard. I hate that fight, but I hope you did well on it. This fight's pretty tough too. This is the final fight of the chapter. You'll come in here. I edited out the long cut scene, and wait till these guys stand up because they're impervious to fire. They need to buffer into the environment just like every other enemy. Knock them down. The shotgun works the best here. Knock them down. Run over to them. Press the B button to I don't know what that is. It's some kind of some kind of a cord or something, umbilical cord. I have no idea. Just rip it off and you win. And it wouldn't let me get that green gel, sons of bitches.